is Auntie, 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 Auntie Q ASMR, and I am back again this evening to try to relax you. Relax you. No Petal this evening. Unfortunately, Petal is hiding this evening, and we do not force Petal to film when Petal does not want to film, so it's just gonna be me today. But it's fine because I've been getting so many comments about Petal, which are so cute, by the way. I'm so glad that people enjoy when she visits and when she films videos with me for my channel, but it's like all the comments that I've been getting recently have been about Petal. And I'm like, oh gosh, Petal's doing a channel takeover. I hope this doesn't become like a thing where she's expected to be in every video, because she definitely won't be. Petal is an autonomous kitty, a woman unto her own. She does as she pleases, and I have little to no say over that. So she likes to hide, she likes to crawl under the bed and hang out by herself until she very well pleases to get out from underneath the bed, grab some food, peek out to her peasants and her subjects and say hello. And yeah, I built my bed frame, I should say, and I built it so that it's low. This was before I really had cats, or at least before I had her, or at least I think it was. It may not have been. Regardless, I built it myself because I wanted it to be low, and I can't reach under there, so I can't grab her when she hides under the bed. So when she hides under the bed, that's pretty much her time, and I'm pretty sure that's where she is right now. So just me today, but clearly I've taken a shower, so points there for me, right? Thank you. And for this evening's video, I know that if you watched my most recent upload, you'll be aware that I am leaving tomorrow for a trip, and I'll be gone for the weekend, for which I'm very excited. And as I stated previously, I wanted to just get a couple, 1 or 2 videos recorded so that I could upload them before I left. That would have been the first one being the one that I uploaded yesterday or earlier today, and then the second one being the one that I am recording right now and will either upload tomorrow on Friday or the next day on Saturday, and then I'll be back Sunday night. I don't think I'm going to film that night because it's probably going to be late, so the next night that I film will be on Monday, so you'll probably, after this upload, be getting your next video from me on Tuesday. Likely to be a whisper ramble, because I'm probably, with very few shadows of doubt, going to have a wonderful weekend, and I'll have plenty of stories, maybe some photos. Let me not get ahead of myself. I still haven't fixed the problem with Shotcut, so I don't know what my video editing software situation is going to be, so you might not see photos, but you'll definitely get stories about the weekend. And so yeah, TLDR, next video from this channel is probably going to be on Tuesday. This video I will be uploading in my absence while I am enjoying a weekend with my friends, celebrating one of my closest friends' birthdays. And for today's video, I was going to just do another whisper ramble something, but I wasn't really sure. And then today, before leaving for my trip, I wanted to kind of get my apartment in order, get everything tidy, squared away. And I found this candy wrapper, this chocolate candy wrapper, and we'll kind of get to this in a second, but I saved it, and I'll tell you why in a bit. I saved it. Not just this one, I have 2 more of this particular brand of chocolate, the chocolate XOXOX brand chocolates. because this is not a video about chocolate, despite having this chocolate wrapper. This is a whisper word studies video. So I'll explain why I saved this wrapper and why I grabbed it out of my selection of the three chocolate wrappers that I've saved from this brand, why I grabbed that one to show you. But first I have to tell you about what word or words we are discussing today, and I have that here. My trusty ASMR journal where I write down your video request, my ideas for upcoming videos, and things like that. A request for upcoming videos, such as the one that I have received a couple of times now, to do a no talking, get ready with me video, which I'm absolutely going to be doing probably within the next week. I just really haven't been wearing makeup lately because of the quarantine, and I'm not really going to have a reason to, so I'm just going to create one on whatever day it is that I film that video, but that's probably going to be coming out this week as well. It'll be my first no talking video. Hopefully that'll kind of open the gates for me to experiment with other types of ASMR, because I've really only done whispering so far. I've tried a couple inaudible videos, but I wasn't too pleased with them, so maybe soft speaking is going to be more my twist, my thing. We'll see. I keep getting sidetracked though. Without any further ado, let's get into the actual subject matter of this video contained in my ASMR journal. And I guess before I get into that, let me just say credits to, I believe, dictionary.com is going to be the source of my information here. I direct quoted them in my notes, and I believe it is dictionary.com. So this word came to me from Word of the Day, which is an email subscription that I subscribe to, where they send you a word of the day because I like words. Go check out my petrichor video. I'm very proud of it. I really enjoyed making it. It was one of the videos that I was most excited about bringing to you guys, so check that out. It's the first in this series. This is going to be the second in my whisper word study video. So TLDR, once again, I like words. I subscribe to Daily Words, Word of the Day, whatever. And I believe it is powered by dictionary.com, so they're going to be the source of this information. And when I checked my email today, dictionary.com had sent me the word of the day, and it was verso. I've written it here, though you may not be able to read it properly because my handwriting is atrocious. But verso is our first word today. There are going to be two words. It's kind of a multi-parter, though. So, the word verso gets its origins in the Latin language, mid-19th century. The word verso means either the left-handed page of an open book or the back of a loose document. So you'll notice that I wrote verso on the left-handed page of this open book. Right here. This is the left side. Or in the Latin, it would be folio, verso, folio. So this is the left page, the left-sided page, or the verso folio upon this particular brand of chocolate includes a poem. This one is a sonnet, and I will read that to you later. But that would be an example of the backside of a loose document would be right here where this poem's written on this piece of chocolate wrapper. So, and then the second definition of what verso means is that it is the reverse of something such as a coin or a painting. The reverse of something such as a coin or a painting. So like if you had a painting on a canvas and you flipped it around and you had the back side where it was the wooden canvas frame where the canvas was stretched around it, and then there's the empty blank canvas side. So that would be the verso of that canvas. And so for a few examples here, I have them, each of those definitions used in a sentence. The first one being, every chapter begins on the verso. So like every new chapter of the book begins on the verso, which is not the case, I'm certain, for this book, partially because it's not a novel, it's a compilation of poems, but for all intents and purposes, let's say it's a novel, let's say each newly entitled poem is a chapter, and I will find you an example of what it looks like for that chapter to start on the verso. So like this poem, Sparks, begins on the left side. So if we were to consider this a chapter and not just a poem, you could say that the chapter entitled Sparks begins on the verso. I'm pretty sure you get it. It's very straightforward. And then the second sentence is, the coin is particularly valuable because of the misprint on the verso. The coin is particularly valuable because of the misprint on the verso. Ooh. Somebody just knocked something over. I really hope you didn't hear that. You probably did, but hopefully it wasn't too loud. I won't beat a dead horse, but you know that I'm dealing with video editing software right now, so these are gonna be one take videos until I get that resolved. So fingers crossed, I'll try to wrap this up before anything else happens. But anyway, so verso was the word that was emailed to me by Word of the Day, and it's kind of a mundane word, probably to most people, but I like these kinds of words. I like that we have a word in the English language, not just one word for the left side of the page, but as I'm soon to tell you, we also have a word for the right side or the front side of a page. And I just love that because it seems so needless, and yet at the same time you can't argue that it is inefficient. You would say that it is needless because to say verso is to say the back side of the page, so why not just say the back side of the page? Well, because verso is shorter and you can't argue that. So it's like equally banal and eloquent, and that's like that's the money spot for me. I just like that a lot for some reason. So when I got this word emailed to me, I thought, perfect. I like that as a concept. What's a way that I can kind of snake this into a video? Because on its own, it's not really a video or a vocabulary word, worthy of a whisper word study video, had it not been for the fact that I have recently started reading either from the Grimm's Fairy Tales compilation or from this book of poetry at the end of each one of my whisper rambles. So there's been a lot of right-sided and left-sided page turning happening on my channel recently, so never in fact has this set of 2 vocabulary words been more relevant. So on to the second one. We've covered verso, first side of a page. Now on to the other version, or the opposing version of that, which is the word recto. Recto, yes, recto, as in R, E, E, C, T, O, recto. Also of Latin origin from the mid-19th century, and as you have gathered by now, the meaning of which is the right-handed page of an open book, or the front of a loose document. So if I am to go back to my original example that I used for the verso, or the left side of the page where sparks begins in this poetry book, well, if you are going to be talking about the recto side, then you could simply refer to the poem, a love song. So verso, recto, left side, right side, left side, right side, and kind of like I said, do the word folio. So like verso folio, recto folio, verso folio, recto folio, verso folio, recto folio. And same thing for the taco bar, the one that has the poem on the back of it. Well, we know now that this is the verso folio and the recto folio. Verso folio, recto folio, verso folio, recto folio. Easy as that. And then of course, the second definition, the front side of something such as a coin or a painting. The front side of something such as a coin or a painting. So even though I'm sure you've got it by now, I will go ahead and use in a sentence as well for each one of those definitions of the word recto. First being, and I made these up myself, these did not come from dictionary.com because I did not get recto emailed to me, I only got verso, and then when I googled the dictionary.com entry for the word recto, they didn't really expound upon it at all. They just gave you the origin and the definition, but not anything else, which is fine. I think I got it, but if not, I tried using them properly. So first example, both plaintiffs and the defendant were listed on the verso folio of the courtroom documents. Both plaintiffs and the defendant were listed on the verso folio of the court documents. Which when I thought of that, I was just thinking of how I used to work at a deposition firm, and all of like our trial transcripts or deposition transcripts, or really anything that involves multiple parties, you would have a title page, and on the title page, which is always either the left-hand side or the front side, if it were a loose document, it would always have like a section at the top, almost like a text box, but it was bracketed off with parentheses because court documents are not formulated like Word documents. Anyway, it would always have a section right there where it would list the plaintiffs and defendants, the two parties in a matter. And so I was like, both plaintiffs and the defendant were listed on the verso folio of the Here I was thinking that I really did something there, and the whole time that I had been thinking that I was reading and writing verso folio, please excuse me. I seriously did even write it, even though I was looking right at it. I still wrote verso, even though the page says recto. So let's try that sentence again with the correct word. Both plaintiffs and the defendant were listed on the recto folio of the court documents. Well, now that's not even correct, because it is right that it is on the left side. Oh goodness me, I shouldn't have filmed this video at 3 o'clock in the morning. My brain is fried. Okay, so I guess that just presents me a challenge. The sentence that I wrote down was correct the way that I had written it on court documents. The plaintiffs and defendants are listed on the Verso folio, the left side or the front side, not the right side or anything like that. So, I don't know. I've confused myself, but let's say it was a loose document. If it were a loose document, technically my sentence would be correct with the word recto, because recto would be the front side, but it doesn't really fit my example because you would never really order just the title page of a court document. You would always order the transcript, in which case it would really end up being more so the left side. So that's on me. That's a bad example. Let me think of a better one for recto folio. Perhaps, you know how most books have like a title page, boom, just like this one. The title page of her new novel was on the recto folio of the inside cover. There we go. That, I believe, is correct, if I haven't confused myself. It is very middle of the night for me to try to be applying my knowledge of new vocab words, but I believe that the way I just did that is correct. So the title page of her new novel was on the Verso. Was on the Recto. Oh goodness. This is slowly unraveling into madness. Let's reset, hold on. Okay. The title page of her new novel was on the recto folio of the inside cover. And then for the second sentence, where I used the definition of how the recto folio is also the front side of a painting, coin, something like that, I wrote the sentence that looking at the recto side of the painting, he noticed a slight scrape above the eye of the subject of the portrait. So imagine that you're like in a museum looking at a painting, and the girl in the painting has a scab on her eyebrow. Well, you, the observer, would then be noticing that the subject of the painting on the recto side of the canvas had a scrape above her eye, which seems to be too many words to describe what you're observing and unnecessary. But that just circles back to the point that I made earlier about yes, it is kind of unnecessary, but you also can't say that it's not efficient. Basically, I think what that concept boils down to of unnecessary but not inefficient, basically that's just being pretentious, just using bigger words when you could have used other words, and I am definitely pretentious, so that's fine. But we're about towards the end of my camera before it's gonna cut me off, so since I've been using this poetry book for my whisper rambles, I think I'm going to continue to use it for my whisper rambles. I had thought maybe to drive the point home, I would read you a poem from the Verso folio and the Recto folio of this book, but since it also applies to loose documents and I have this chocolate wrapper right here, how about I instead just go ahead and read you the poem contained on the Verso folio of this wrapper, which I will affectionately refer to as a document for our purposes here. So, without further ado, and to serve as an example of what can be found on the Verso side of a document, documenting my chocolate XOXOX raspberries in dark chocolate candy bar, we have Sonnet 52 by Mr. William Shakespeare. So so am I as the rich, whose blessed key can bring him to his swept-up locked treasure, the which he will not every hour survey, for blunting the fine point of seldom pleasure. Therefore are feasts so seldom and so rare, sense seldom coming in the long year set, like stones of worth seasonally placed are, or Camden jewels in the coronet. So is the time that keeps you as my chest, or as the wardrobe which the robe doth hide, to make some special instant special blessed, by new unfolding his imprisoned pride. Blessed are you, whose worthiness gives scope, being had to triumph, being lacked to hope. That was a good one. I liked that one. I'm gonna keep that one. I'm gonna keep this chocolate wrapper. That was beautiful. Okay. Well, we're at 27 minutes and 35 seconds, and I believe I'm gonna get cut off somewhere around the 30-minute mark. So, I think we've covered it all, you guys. You know what to expect. I'm either gonna upload this tomorrow, Friday, or the day after Saturday. I'm gonna have a great weekend, as I very much hope that you will too. And I look forward to rejoining you on this channel come Tuesday, probably at the earliest, because I get back Sunday. I'm not gonna record Sunday. I want to get home and go to sleep. I'm gonna record Monday night, and depending on what my output is, being if it needs to be edited or not, it will be up Tuesday at the earliest. So stay tuned for that after watching this video. And while I'm gone, let me know what you want to see from me when I return. I'm sure I'll be recharged and refreshed and ready to be up and at it. Or at least I hope. Because, to be completely honest, I haven't been the most up and at 'em lately, and I think that's normal for the current situation. So don't, please, don't beat yourself up. If you've been much the same, just try to stay present and just try to stay patient with yourself. Have empathy. Be kind. Okay? And Belle and I will see you in the next